In 1937, the state of Tennessee founded the Cedars of Lebanon State Park. Today, it is a staple of southeastern Wilson County and a popular destination for hikers, campers, bird watchers, and nature lovers alike. The park boasts many great hiking trails, a splash pad, cabins, picnic shelters, horseback riding, frisbee golf, and courts for both basketball and tennis. Visiting the park today, you wouldn't know it, but this area used to be a vibrant community based around the timber industry. That community, however, later found itself a victim of the very land it had once been so connected to, changing the local area forever. The geography of Cedars of Lebanon, much like the geography of the state of Tennessee, determine its past, its present, and its future. What is today the Cedars of Lebanon is on land that is located on the eastern side of a physiographic region of Tennessee called the Central Basin. It is also located entirely within the Cumberland River watershed, with its major creek being the Hurricane Creek. Water from the park will travel west down Hurricane Creek and into Percy Priest Reservoir, which in turn leads to the Cumberland River. The Central Basin itself is what makes up most of central Middle Tennessee, forming a 600-foot deep inverted dome that is found atop large deposits of limestone rock. In many places, this limestone comes so close to the surface that only a few inches of dirt cover it up. Due to the shallow soil, some parts of the Central Basin experience drastic changes in surface temperature, creating a desert-like environment known as cedar glades. In the early days of human settlement, this made the cultivation of crops exceptionally difficult. Instead, native tribes, such as the Cherokee and Chickasaw, used the Middle Tennessee and Central Basin regions as hunting grounds for game such as deer, buffalo, and several different types of bird. By the time Europeans had arrived in the Central Basin, the Shawnee, which were the only tribal nation partly located in Middle Tennessee, had been pushed back to their native lands of Kentucky due to fighting with the Cherokee and Chickasaw. This left lands, such as what became Cedars of Lebanon, mostly open for settlement. In the late 1700s, European settlers first began to enter what is now southeastern Wilson County. In the sprawling virgin cedar forests, a new community called Hurricane began to take shape. The town's geography dictated the industry that would dominate the area: logging. The town started small, but would continue to grow as years passed. By the antebellum age, Hurricane had seen so much growth that it was designated as a new county district. This all being a result of the area's booming timber industry. Hurricane's growth didn't stop here, as the nearby town of Lebanon was able to ship Hurricane's various timber products around the state. This growth, however, would not be sustainable for the land or the people of Hurricane. After decades of slow and steady growth, the timber industry in Hurricane would come to a halt, as the primeval forests that had once covered the land had been cleared, and all that remained were stumps and open fields. The already shallow soil of the cedar glades was made even more depleted by the removal of these trees. This downfall, however, would coincide with another major event in Tennessee's history. In the 1930s, America was in the midst of the Great Depression, which hit the South especially hard. Tennessee would become the proving ground for what became known as New Deal programs. These programs came about in order to get citizens back to work and lift the economy out of the slump it was in. Among these policies was the creation of state parks for public use and recreation. For Tennessee, this meant a flurry of new state parks that took advantage of the natural beauty the state had to offer. These new parks, originally, were only going to be made in West Tennessee. However, after more funds were passed, the entire state would receive new outdoor spaces. For Hurricane, this was both a blessing and a curse. Hurricane's degrading soil and failing timber industry were not helped by the Great Depression. In December of 1934, the land of Hurricane and its surrounding areas were surveyed and designated as unfit for human habitation and as a top target for land reclamation and relocation of its inhabitants. The geography of the shallow cedar glades had finally caught up with the timber industry that gave Hurricane its start. The earth was no longer able to support crops necessary for farmers in the area to feed the local population. Due to the state of their land, most families agreed to leave. Some families, however, felt that the land they were being offered to resettle on was no better than what they had already, deciding to stay. Families that decided to leave would be given land in northern Wilson County that was on the Cumberland River. Those that would stay would become the first generation of guides and rangers working to maintain and improve what became known as Cedars of Lebanon State Park. The story of Hurricane serves as an example as to how Tennessee's geography has shaped the course of its history from start to finish. The Cedars of Lebanon State Park today serves as a getaway for people to experience the beautiful forests that attracted settlers to this area all those years ago. Its long and complex history tied to its geography every step of the way. Its story, however unique it is not very uncommon. The state of Tennessee is covered with these state parks, all telling their own story. No matter what part of the state you're in, a beautiful vista or pristine forest is never too far away. A visit to your local park will connect you not only to the land it's on, but the stories of its past. From the Smoky Mountains to the winding underground caves, from the tall waterfalls to the shallow cedar glades. The land of Tennessee holds stories that have long gone untold. But for those who go looking, they can always start in these beautiful state parks.